Beverly D Show. We do a simulcast every Wednesday, and our viewers on each blog looks forward to the Wednesday because we come through with some beautiful dialogue and a lot of questions gets answered, and I really enjoy it. Are you there, Miss Beverly D?
Yes, I am.
All righty.
And I'm looking forward to this show, as always.
All right. All righty. I've been getting gobs of telephone calls asking for information. I think I'm going to go back to my website and review it because I want to make sure that the information, everybody's asking about the same thing, of course, the birth certificate. And I just don't have time all day long, 8 to 10 to 15 calls, to sit down and explain the whole process of birth certificate. So I'm going to go back to my site, and I'm going to review it and see what we can do to make it a little clearer to everybody as to what to do and what not to do. All right?
Okay.
Okay. All righty. All right, Bev, let's get started today. I know I got your attention earlier when I said to you a couple of things, but this 14th Amendment citizen, I see I spelled it with a T, should be a D on the end, 14th Amendment. But anyway, the 14th Amendment citizen, what is it about? How and why are we catching so much hell in the United States today? Are these police officers legitimate or illegitimate? Is it legal, unlawful, or what is the problem that's going on? And I thought I'd take this program with you because I know once I get cross-examined by you, things become clearer to everyone. So I want to start out and just by saying that the 14th Amendment of 1868 was instituted into, quote unquote, the so-called original Constitution by a illegal process. And I say illegal because Sine Die happened in 1861, which means that the government itself shut down completely with Sine Die, and no other governmental legislations can be used or even voted upon from a lawful basis. Everything after Sine Die is fictional, color of law, or what's the other word they use? Fictitious is a good word, but it's the color of law that they produced. And it was all set up by the Library Code because they knew that what they were doing was illegal. So what they had to do, they had to protect themselves by setting up the Library Code and then using war powers that since there was a Sine Die, in order to keep the country together, we had to continuously govern the people. So we had to set up a rule of law that will protect everyone. Does that make sense to you, Bev? Or do you understand?
Now you saying that they setting up this law to protect everyone or to protect the corporations and the citizens?
Okay. Everyone since 1861 is only 14th Amendment citizens. Everyone is 14th Amendment citizens. It's like a game, Monopoly. You get so many people to put on the board. Monopoly. You put so many people on the board, and they're fictitious. They're not real people. It's just a proclamation, an announcement by the phony government that said that all inhabitants in the domain of Washington, D.C. or United States are citizens of United States classified as, with a star, classified as 14th Amendment citizens. Now, does that make sense? Say that again.
I'm hearing them say U.S. I'm hearing them say United States of America, and I hear them say citizen.
Yes.
So,
but you turn it down too low. You have to differentiate between all of that to understand that prior to 1861, there were two forms of government. United States, which was only 10 square miles, Washington, D.C., and then the entire continental America, which is known as America. We were in America. Now, you got to remember that, and you got to take the years that I'm telling you so you'll know how they are tricking you, or you're being tricked. They know what they're saying. You are being tricked because they are telling you that there is a United States and then there is an America, which is known as El Morocco. And you got to fix it in your head that those two entities were here on this continent in 1861, which they call antebellum.
Okay.
That's a week. That was a week. Okay. Does it make sense?
Talk on some more.
All right.
I understand the American. I understand the USA, and I understand now. I see the different where they placed that. The 14th Amendment came about in 1868, correct?
Yes.
But
they started preparing.
1860.
Go ahead. They started preparing for the invasion, the legal invasion. I'm using that word loosely. The legal invasion of America started in 1861. The illegal invasion. So what they did, they started amending the Constitution. And one of the first ones they went for was the 13th Amendment. And the reason they went for the 13th Amendment, because the original 13th Amendment was not on their agenda. If you ever read the original 14th Amendment, you will see that all lawyers, judges, and elected court officials are unlawful in the United States of America. They're unlawful in America and in United States. So they had to get rid of the 13th Amendment, and they told that barefaced lie that they couldn't find it, it was lost in the war, a lot of crazy stuff, in order to trick us that they had to create a new 13th Amendment. So in 1863, I believe, they created this new so-called 13th Amendment. Now they had to prepare for the citizens to be on record prior to incorporating. Now notice all of these dates that I'm giving to you are all prior to 1871. Why 1871? Because that's when they filed the papers for corporation. And they named it United States of America, which meant that they just took America and made it be a part of United States. Nothing legal at all about what they did.
So it was a takeover.
Yes, it was. A brutal takeover. I need some more sound. Wally, can you come here a minute? Yes, a brutal takeover. Because the worst part of the United States, the most devastating part, I need to turn it up. The most devastating part of the United States was the years prior to, the 1871, they had to fix everything so that it would be looking good and legal on paper. I can't hear at all now.
Can you hear me?
I hear you Yes. But I'm trying to get my engineers to turn you up a little bit, and I don't know why we're down low. Nope, maybe this will do it. Nope, that ain't gonna do it either. So, but you can hear me clear? Can you hear me?
I mean, I can hear you. You're not real clear, but we can hear you.
All right. I would love to be a little bit more volume, but I can't get it. Okay, now, if we can get all of that in our minds, that they set all of this up, made it look like it was all legal, then every citizen of United States, now you got to understand this, man. Every citizen of United States is a 14th Amendment citizen, and they belong to United States of America, Inc. We got to understand that.
Now, the United States is the 13 colonies, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so they took and turned the 13 colonies into this corporation, which is the United States of America.
Correct. Okay. That was the only place
they
are. The only place
I don't hear
they are.
nothing about America.
No. You're not going to hear anything about America because the 13 colonies were only United States. That was it. That was the only power they were given. Yes. And you know, when we go back to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 17, which is the numbers for 1871, they gave them the seat of government and they called it a district. They didn't say Washington. They said a district. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then the district, once they got in it and started dallying with it, then they called it Washington is the capital of the district. And that's where you get Washington, D.C. D.C. only has one city, and it's Washington. And it's called the capital of D.C., which makes it Washington, D.C.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, all of this is terribly important because everything that's happening to us, comes from this foundation that I'm trying to lay on you today. And I gave you a very heavy sentence earlier when I said to you, all of the individuals that have been killed or murdered by the police, they are at fault. And if you stay... Yep,
so you're saying that the guy that got choked, the guy that ran and he shot him in the back, the Ferguson guy, all of them was at fault?
Yes. Now, how were they at fault? Because we have always been ignorant as to who we really are and what role do we play in this land. The original original America belonged to the natives of America. The European came in and invaded it by setting up those colonies, and they took it from us, made us go to their schools, and taught us that they were the king on the throne. So all the laws, that's why police officers get away with murder, because the laws protect the police officers. They do not protect the 14th Amendment citizen, because he's a slave. And nobody realizes that. Nobody wants to even mention it. I ain't no slave. And they shooting them down every day and not going to jail. They won't study. They won't read. We're the only people on this earth that have no idea where our homeland is. And you got some of these damn niggas that'll tell you, excuse me for getting excited, they will tell you, I don't care. I got a job, I got a car, I live in Southfield. Why would I care where my homeland is? That's my homeland. And they all have to follow the rules of United States of America because they were engulfed in the lie and the foundation of that fictitious government known as United States of America. And they don't care.
So what you're saying is that we, the United States of America, is the plantation, and the citizens that's living on this plantation are all slaves.
Yes.
Color has nothing to do with it.
No. Privileges and benefits have something to do with it. Now you're going into a deeper phase because in order for this government to survive, they have to keep up chaos. They have to keep up confusion so that they can come in and settle it. They'll start it, and then they'll come in like white knights, settle it, and everybody say, yeah, that's good. Yeah, you need the police. And they are creating the violence. And now you notice that the police are coming up with a new process when they shoot and kill because they know they have to wear those body cameras. So now listen to this scenario. I heard about this last year. When a police officer stops you and wants to beat you to death, he knows he's got his camera on. So what he'll do is grab the suspect, start wailing his head, and while he wails, he'll scream, "Stop resisting." Now think about that. Think about looking at the camera and you see a police officer beating a black guy, and the police officer is screaming, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." Now after they beat him to death, they'll all sign statements that the cop was trying to pursue to arrest him, and he kept fighting the police officer. And we have it on camera to prove it. Now, if you think I'm playing, I'm going to throw it at you again. The other day in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a 73-year-old millionaire, Beverly, who wanted to play police officer. Now, why would a 73-year-old want to play police officer? And not only wear a badge, he couldn't pass the test to be a police officer because, number one, he's too old. But he was a millionaire. So he was giving a lot of money, not only to the police for equipment. I understand the sheriff and some of the officers, he used campaign money to his own money to sponsor their campaign. Now, when he ran and caught this guy, all the police officers had him subdued on the ground, face down, putting handcuffs on him, and the millionaire pulled out his pistol and shot him in the back. And the first thing you heard was, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I pulled out my laser." You saw it on TV. They are setting up. They ain't stupid. They know what their job is, and they're figuring out how to get around the cameras. They're working on it right now. "Oh, I'm sorry." Now here comes the chief. Well, it was a terrible, terrible incident. But you see where our undercover agent, 73-year-old, he's in a sting operation. A 73-year-old man in a sting operation with a heavy criminal, and the criminal's supposed to sell him guns and ammunition. Now, why would you put a 73-year-old man in harm's way like that? And the first thing the chief said was, one of the first things, it was a terrible incident. But you see that it was an accident because he didn't mean to shoot. Now, when the other police officers got on the news, they said they put the police gun on your hand, like a right hand side, so you can draw it. They put the taser on your left-hand side backwards because you have to draw crossbody. Now, you're going to tell me that an individual don't realize he's going straight down to his pistol versus going across his body to the cross his body draw? You don't want to bring that up?
Well, the man is 73 years old. He's got a little Alzheimer's or dementia going on there, so he can. I can see him doing that.
All right. If that's going to be your defense, I'm going to ask, number one, do you have medical records that he's an idiot? Number two, if he do have medical records, why would the police officers put him in as a undercover agent? That is a very skilled, high-skilled position for you to place an individual because you're in a sting operation, Beth. You're not in a regular, if you're a reserve cop, you go to football games and you go to basketball games and just make sure they keep order. But when you're going to take go ahead.
No, I just was going to say, no, I didn't know that. But, I mean, later on, he's going to use that as his defense.
Yeah, he may be. Maybe. But my purpose today is to make sure, and I can't say it any clearer, it's going to get worse, Beth. Now, why would it get worse? Why is it going to get worse? Number one, the United States of America, not only are they bankrupt again, they are totally collapsing and losing their power on the world level. No, like a European from America. They beat them up all over the world. They beat them up. You don't hear them advertising a trip to France for $10 and go see your.
You breaking up, Ryan?
Anymore because you're going to get beat up.
Say that again. You broke up.
I was saying that they used to advertise that you could get a trip to France to see your in-laws, or you could go to England, or you could go around the world at a cheap fare, or go on a cruise and blah, blah, blah. They don't do that anymore. And the reason they don't is the Europeans are not interested because they get beat up when they go overseas. Over on tours. I've seen on tours that like Egypt, when I went to Egypt, those kids throw rocks at white people. And then when white people try to buy something,
right?
What don't you over here?
Right. What happened to your phone? We losing you. Hello.
Yep. The sound on Blog Talk is going in and out.
Oh. Can you hear me?
I didn't.
Still there?
She's breaking up.
Yep.
All right, stay on the air because we got our engineer. He's checking, trying to figure out.
Okay.
I heard you say, "Oh, can you hear me?"
So basically, now what? Can you hear me, Ryan, while I'm talking?
You're breaking up.
Am I
go ahead and say it.
You? Okay, so what about that? How do the police know if they're dealing with a 14th Amendment citizen and they're dealing with a person that is a private citizen?
When you get up and put that police differentiate.
We can't hear you. Your engineers, hopefully they'll get it together. And so you can tell us, we didn't get the answer to that question. So we're waiting till y'all get it together.
All right. All right. I heard you say all of that clear.
Okay. Bear with us. Bear with us. Ron is having technical difficulty, and until they get it together.
Yeah.
What it is that he is really paying.
Yeah, you could try. Do that.
Yep. Okay.
Give us a second.
Give us a second, Bev.
Okay, I'm going to go to some music, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world.
I got a lot of confessions, young boy getting arrested. My pops and mom stressing, thank God I learned my lesson. Back and forth to church, can't live my life doing dirt. So Father send me a message, I'm ready to do your work. Tired of doing bad deeds and hustling on the turf. Homies killing homies for nothing, they living life without work. Wind up dead or in jail, either heaven or hell. So pray and get on your knees, cause only time will tell.
Wild boys, running, rapping in the streets with 2 left feet, incomplete, missing the beat, feeling the heat. What's beef when niggas creep 30 deep? They don't sleep, peeping the scenery, pockets full of greenery, cemetery, Hail Mary, shell shock baits. The world going crazy, can't seem to shake it off. The bullets ain't lazy, they get to spitting out. I mean, super hairy shot, it's clear your block. Going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world. Cold times, cold mind, colder than a cold rhyme. Caught a cold standing out in the cold blind. Homeless in the cold world from a cold dime. Had the cold cock a bitch nigga for stealing cold rhymes. People's minds, souls, hearts colder than cold ice. Repetitive cold crimes, nearly led to cold time. Rather be in the Bahamas sipping cold ties. Or in this book spitting truth, laying these cold lines.
Wicked city of bad things, a lot of nightmares, been awakened by bad dreams. So it seems the D seen a lot of bloodshed in the abandoned houses. That's why my people's walking dead. Now last night I shook hands with a dead man. His body was cold, yet dressed and wore a headband. Walked with a cane, a slight limp in his leg. A book to the game, he turned to me and he said,
it's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world.
What up? Just moving chords. Oh, so there's no cross talking. Stand by.
Do you have it together yet?
Yes, ma'am, I think we do. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you better.
All right. All right. I wish you'd have said you could hear me fine, but I'll take that better, Bev.
Yeah, we hear you much better now.
All right. Now, to answer your question, police officers, corporations, and all of the structured government of the United States have no idea who they're dealing with each and every time. So the rule of thumb is everyone is a 14th Amendment slave. Period. It's up to you, Bev, to announce who you are. Now, there are several ways of doing it, and one way I'm going to say very clear and right up front. Never argue with an individual that has a gun. Your freedom is not going to last very long if you're in the street trying to convince a bloodthirsty police officer that you are not supposed to go to jail. You have a problem. So your argument is to go all the way through the process, but you should tell each individual that you encounter who you really are, and if you have your papers of your birth certificate to prove that you are not a slave, because you are upper and lower caps, and all the slaves are upper cap. You got it?
And not do all the officers, are all of them aware of that?
No, they're not. But if you do your paperwork correct, such as once you get your paperwork from the John Kerry and all your birth certificates, the first thing you must do is fill out a affidavit. And in that affidavit, you're going to mail it to all persons concerned, such as Secretary of State, the Commissioner of the Driving Department, or DMV. There's a commissioner. Most of the time, it's the same as Secretary of State. The Attorney General should get a copy. Now, when I say a copy, I mean all your paperwork. Your birth certificates, all authenticated, and this affidavit. The governor of the state, the chief of police should get a copy. The sheriff should get a copy. And I'm just thinking off the top of my head. The presiding judge of your courts, 36th District, 3rd Circuit, they all should get a copy. Now, the surprising thing is, you're going to tell them in your affidavit, if they have a problem with you being a private citizen, they should respond within 30 days. Now you have to deal with what they call the administrative remedy. Now, you know what the administrative remedy is, Beth. That is, you got 3 letters you have to send. But that doesn't stop you from going out and doing what you're supposed to do. So the 3 letters is, number 1, affidavit will be a notice of affidavit. Number 2, it will be an opportunity to cure the problem or situation, which will be recognition that you are a private citizen. And number 3 will be your default and dishonor. Now you are a bona fide citizen in the state, and everybody by law has to be on record. You don't care. They're not going to answer you, so don't try to act like, Ron, they didn't answer me back. They ain't going to answer. Tell you that now. That's why you have to know the process of administrative process or the administrative remedy. Now, their job is to put your name, rank, and serial number into those police cars. So when they go back or drive up and run your plate, it should say that you are a diplomat. Do not disturb.
Gotcha.
You got it? Yep.
Yeah.
Now, there's a second document that you're going to put together. It's called I call it a preventive injunction, which means you want to be placed on the do not detain list. That's the most powerful one that you can do. It's got to go out the same way. So everybody that you think is going to do you harm, you want to make sure they're on notice. I can't say it any clearer. You can sit back and say I'm free. You can sit back and say I ain't a slave. You can say all the crap you want to say. But if you haven't noticed the right people in the proper manner, you are a slave. And I don't care. Because it's happening, and that's what's going on, and I don't care. But nobody's listening. We got to get serious with this situation so we can save ourselves, and then we can save our children.
I got somebody that want to ask you a question on the line, Ron.
Yes. Go ahead.
Area code 770-800.
Yes, ma'am. You can refer to me as Sarge, and just as for a point of information, I'm a retired police officer. I'm a certified firearms instructor. Been 28 years Illinois State Policeman, including 22 years Illinois National Guard as a military policeman. And, I've been to the whole ball of wax and everything else. And I don't think this gentleman's ever really read the 14th Amendment. He's essentially saying one can confer diplomatic immunity on oneself by applying for an administrative remedy which has application in civil matters, not in criminal matters. Administrative remedies, this simply means that you exhaust all of the remedies that have to do with civil matters before you take a case to litigation in a civil court. It has nothing to do with a criminal matter. As a criminal matter, if you read the 14th Amendment, and I'm going to read it here, there's only one sentence, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or amenities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property. Notice it says any person. It doesn't say citizen. It says any person. That means if you're here on a visa or you're a visitor from another country or whatever, if you're a human being, you're a person, it applies to you. Without due process of law, nor denied to any person. It doesn't say any citizen. It says person. Within its jurisdiction, the equal protection of the laws. So even illegal aliens have rights, although, immigration law allows them to be deported, but they're supposed to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, just like citizens, 14th Amendment or otherwise. And no human being in the United States, black human being who was born to two citizen parents in the United States, is anything but a natural-born citizen. I am a natural-born citizen because when I was born, no other country in the world had a legal claim on my allegiance but the United States. For this gentleman to say what he's saying sounds patently absurd. In other words, he's saying one can confer a diplomatic immunity upon oneself, which means essentially you cannot be convicted of any crime without, in essence, being a diplomat of a particular country, being a credentialed diplomat recognized by the State Department of the United States. I've never heard anything as patently absurd as what I'm hearing here.
Are you ready to listen? I want to answer you. Can you hear me?
I'd like you to try to convince me otherwise, because I've read the Constitution backwards and forwards. I've been in law enforcement for, like I said, 28 years. I made hundreds of arrests, and I've seen I've been to hundreds of trials. I've read many Supreme Court cases on citizenship and the merits of citizenship, natural-born citizenship, native-born citizenship, derived citizenship, derivative citizenship. I mean, I've never heard this before, ever, in any Supreme Court case dating back to 1814, the Venus Merchantman case, Minor versus Happersett, Wong Kim Mark versus the United States, Perkins versus Elk, all the relevant cases of the Supreme Court that had to deal with citizenship.
Are you ready for me to answer?
I wait to be convinced, sir. I wait to be convinced.
All right.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I would not try, and I'm not going to try to convince you because I know what I'm talking about. That's number one. Number two, when you use the word person, that pertains to a corporation. Any person is a corporation, okay? And you are a corporation more than once because I'll just say you were a police officer. That's number one, corporation. Number two, Sarge, up in all caps, is the second corporation. You don't have any rights in the United States of America. You only have privileges. That's why they give you your name in all capital letters. When you went to school, and I have no idea your age, but I'm going to tell you what happened in the first grade. The school teacher had a ruler, and when she was teaching them kids, little baby kids, how to write their names, she sent you to the blackboard. She said your first letter is big, your second letters are small. Go do it. And when you made both of them big S, big A, big R, she cracked your knuckles and said, did not tell you that the second letters are small? You learned it from her cracking your knuckles. Now, it may not have happened to you, but I know it happened to 2 trillion other children that went to the public schools in the United States. Now, number 3, an administrative remedy is not going to give you any type of status. You misunderstood the entire program of administrative. If I send you a letter, Sarge, and say to you that you owe me $20, this is hypothetical, and you look at it and say, to hell with this, I don't know this guy. You throw it in the garbage. All right, 30 days later, I send you another letter. That's called an obscure. I said, Sarge, I sent you a letter on so-and-so and so-and-so day, asked for that $20 that you told me you're going to give me. You did not give it to me. You got 10 days to send me my $20. You don't do it in 10 days. Now, I send you the third letter. It's called a dishonor and a default, that you have 5 days to answer, or I'm going to court and sue you for my $20. That's all the administrative remedy does, is make you answer when you ain't going to answer. And from your approach and attitude,
matters, sir. Civil
I am glad
matters.
Hey, I didn't cut you off, Sarge, so I'll give you time to answer. I'm just saying to you, if you were a police officer out there in the street with your limited knowledge of citizenship, you made a whole lot of mistakes. And the reason that they was there, you made it through, somebody didn't know their rights to put on you and put you in a position of a criminal. All right, now you can answer.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now, I understand. Believe me, I did understand everything you just said. I did. However, the Supreme Law of the United States, which admittedly, this is a common law document, the Constitution of the United States. It is a common law document. However, it is a supreme law of the land from which all statutory law must be derived. And in accordance with stare decisis and previous decisions of the various courts, depending upon their relevance to the issue at hand. Now, when you tell me the stuff about this corporate law that was passed in 1871, wherever it is, people like I believe you are, and if I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I believe you're talking about this law that had to do with incorporating Washington, D.C., that was passed in 1871, that all of a sudden magically rendered the United States into a corporate entity. I will go back to my Constitution, because that, for me, is supreme law of the land, not some law passed in 1871, even if it was intended to do so, and I'm going to look for the specific text in the United States Constitution that says the United States is now a corporation and a corporate entity, and the citizens thereof are essentially individual corporations amenable to this administrative remedy to which you are speaking of. I cannot find it anywhere, sir. I'm going to go back and look at it again, because maybe I missed something, but I have not seen it in there, either by amendment or in the plain text of the Constitution. In fact, in 3 places in the United States Constitution, it says the United States is a republic. The word democracy isn't even mentioned. It says that it will guarantee to each of the states a republican form of government, small r republican. It is a representative republic with a federalist component. There is nothing in it, anywhere, in any of the words of its text, about it being transformed into a corporation. Now, sir, if you insist upon believing it, I have no intention of trying to disabuse you of this, but I'm simply telling you, I am going to refer to the Constitution. You can refer to what you want to. I have not been convinced by a thing you have said that the United States has now been transformed into a corporation. As far as I am concerned, it is a constitutional republic, representative with a federalist system of sovereign states, 50 sovereign states, that in charge overall are we the people, the sovereign states, and the federal government. Those are the 3 branches of the constitutional government. I know nothing of this corporation of which you speak.
Okay, that's good. Go back and do your research. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm going to read my Constitution, sir. The Constitution is what's important here. That's the supreme law of the land, sir. The Constitution.
Listen, you keep saying that, and I'm telling you now, the Constitution has never been the supreme law of the land. In the Constitution itself, it says, Article 6 says, all contracts, agreements, and arrangements made prior to the Constitution are the law of the land. The treaties are the law of the land, not that thing you call the Constitution. And number 2, the Constitution does not pertain to you. It only pertains to corporations. And while your name is Allstat Sarge, they made you a corporation so they can dictate to you what to do and what not to do. You don't have to look that up. Take out your driver's license right now and look at it and explain to my people that's listening why your name is in all capital letters. Your name ain't to be a or your driver's license or your gun permit and explain to me why your name is in all capital letters. And that'll end this conversation right now.
Well, sir, I can't tell you how many angels. Sir, I can't tell you how many angels can dance on the head of a pin either. But I don't think it has anything to do with what this country is composed of. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that are governing unconstitutional. Sir, wait a minute, sir. Now,
you're taking up too much of my time.
I'm not going to be long this time. I promise I won't be long. Look, I'm just saying, I know there are a lot of people in this country who are governing unconstitutionally. Now, if you want to say that, you are not going to get any argument from me. We got more people determined to disregard the Constitution of the United States probably than at any time in the history of the United States, start with that usurper sitting in the White House, going all the way down to the lowest branches of government there is. So you're not getting any argument from me. I'm still telling you that despite that, this is still a constitutional republic, and the Constitution, no matter what you say, until you come up with some evidence of which you have not provided me that is convincing, you're talking about uppercase letters, which supposedly amended the Constitution is still the supreme law of the land. I am utterly unconvinced by anything you have said here, sir.
What about that part that he just said about the treaties?
Oh, that's true. That is correct. Now, he was correct. That what the United States, when they made Article 6, when the framers made Article 6, they wanted to assure all of the nations that had previously been doing business with the United States and still had extant treaties, that those treaties would be honored until they were renegotiated, and that all debt holders and bond holders for the United States would be assured of getting their money, despite the fact that the prior it's gone to tip my tongue. The wheat thing they had before they had the Constitution, even though that was being thrown out in favor of a new Constitution, they would still be assured of their place, and their obligation would be honored by the new United States. That's all that was.
Sir,
now, this gentleman is making it into more than it was. It does not negate the other aspects of the Constitution, in particular Article 6, and Article 5 and Article 4, which again guarantees to each of the states a Republican form of government. None of that. It didn't say a corporate form of government. It says a Republican form of government.
Okay. All right, I got it.
Amendment to the United States Constitution. I see nothing that has amended this republic.
Caller. Okay, you got your.
I will agree with you.
Yep.
Okay, caller. You're not going to thanks for the call. You're not going to agree.
Yep. Get him off there.
We got another caller.
All right. I got one thing that.
314.
Go ahead.
761.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, now.
314-761.
Yes, he's there.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Louder.
Okay.
Speak a little bit louder.
I want to respond to. I just want to respond to the police officer guy that just called in. My wife just got her birth certificate back from John Kerry, from the Secretary of State, about her authentication of her birth certificate, just to let them know that she's the owner of it, and she's the private, and she has secure interest in her trust. That's in capital letters that he won't explain.
Yep.
See, these are the people that come on these shows, man, and try to divert you on purpose based on what they know and what they're trying to keep this conflict with. You can tell they haven't. In Chicago now. I don't know. It's a guy that works in there in the police station. That's a general that told me they have meetings on this to strategize to counter us, to lower down the consciousness of people on these type of issues. He's doing his job.
But that's his job. He does a good job of it. I was trying to let people hear him run that trash because I knew exactly where he was going. And I had one more thing to say to him before he left, but I know he didn't want to hear it. The Articles of Confederation was what he was talking about that was signed prior to the Constitution. Now, Article 4, this is very important to him because he was a state policeman. Article 4 of the Articles of Confederation says, in so many words, it says that any vehicle you can move, they call it regress and egress, without being tampered with. No prohibitants. he, as a police officer, is going to stop you and tell you that you have driver's license plate, register, all of that trash that stops you from traveling. That's against the Constitution. Now, he's going to argue back at me and say he has a right to do that because you're in a motor vehicle and you are driving on the highways. And I'll say to him that he don't know about because he ain't never read nothing right. If you're traveling, there are no laws in America on traveling. So there's no speeding. There's no such thing as speeding if you're traveling. But he's been trained to walk up to the window and say, you were doing 80 in the 70. And when you reply, you create a contract with him, which is corporate law, and now he can bust you upside the head and do everything he wants. That man is dangerous, and we should be glad he's off the highway, but there's 10,000 more out there that stuck on stupid and don't do any reading other than what he's given from the police force. So we ain't got time to listen to that. That's why I didn't get upset. I was very surprised that he would run that bull crap and think somebody's going to believe him. But if I see him coming, I'm going the other way. But I know he's an idiot, and he got a gun.
Exactly.
Sorry to cut you off.
Patriotism type of guy.
Yes, because he called Obama
patriotism type of guy.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. They try to like all the other presidents was good. Like all the other white European presidents was okay. They don't want to set the foundation for this chaos. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
So, this is what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, to the audience out there, to the people out there, this stuff is real. We got people who have done this to an apex level. You'll be fooled not to read and verify, qualify, reprove, validate, and find it that it's indisputable what this information is. If you don't, you out. You ain't got a chance.
Yes, that's what this show tonight is all about. Thank you, brother. Thank you,
caller. Thank you.
Caller. And you got anything else? You got another one?
No, I don't have anybody else yet.
All right. Now, let's get back to the 14th Amendment. He kept using the word person. He read the 14th Amendment, and they used the word person. If you look up corporation, it will tell you a state, a person, anything that does not have your name in it, you are pertaining to a corporation. Now, he refused or didn't hear me when I asked him. He could solve the whole problem of his stupidity, or better yet, his ignorance of the subject matter by taking out his license, or go get his light bill, or get that Sears and Roebuck bill and look at it and explain to me why his name is in all capital letters. He didn't even want to go there. That would have solved the whole problem right there. He didn't have to go through all the crap because he kept jumping back to the original Constitution, and that's where I want to go. But the corporation won't let you go back to the original Constitution because the judges are crooked, the lawyers are crooked, the prosecutors are crooked, and the police officers and what have you are being trained by them, so they take the laws and rules from the corporation. And all his job was, as he said, was to protect the highway when he was a state policeman, protect the army when he was an MP. That was his job, to protect the corporation, not the people. That man is woo, but he's been a good man. He's been doing it for 100 years, so they trained him. That was a good nigga. They trained that nigga well. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right. All right. Now,
we have another caller.
All right, go ahead.
You want to take another call? Okay.
Yes.
Area code 301-403.
Yes. Good afternoon, Beverly and Ron Marsh.
Good afternoon.
This is Chris from Maryland. I
just
want
Chris.
to say this here. We're going to tone this thing down. This vibration here is so powerful right now. We got people coming from out of the Hey, look here. See, that's one thing about the vibration of knowledge, right? It gets so high intense, and, it sounds like y'all was kind of the same age, and the thing is, he haven't read anything, right? And you know more than he know, and it's just like, right, I took a trip right down North Carolina, right? I went home, and for the Easter holidays, and my auntie said, are you going to church? I said, no, I don't believe in that. She said, oh, you don't believe in that, Jesus? I said, no. I said, she said, She gave me that look like she was a bear, right? And I was like, Auntie, why you gonna go there? You know what I mean? She said, but look here, only thing I read is the Bible. And I said, really? That's all you read is the Bible? I said, Lord have mercy. I see why everybody that came up in this house is brainwashing crazy right now. Because, see, our vibration is off. And Ron Martin is in here right now televising this show every Wednesday, and we always got some nonsense coming through this. That's why we have some problem with his voice and all that. They don't want this man to get this thing out here to the universe. So as we as the people vibrating to these words, you know what I mean? Yep. This is all we got. This is all we gonna have into this time of the time awakening. You know, and this is you know what I mean. That's why I just wanted to say this, because without that vibration just a minute ago, everybody else would be thrown off. But this right here is to just tell us everybody that what we're doing is right, and they don't want us to have it.
That's right.
And they don't want us to have it. And look here, the show must go on. The show must go on. That's all I'm saying. I'm out.
Yep. All right, Chris, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I love you.
Now we got about
Okay.
20 seconds to break, Bev.
Okay.
And I just want to say that those type of calls are very educational to me. When I was in TV 20 years ago, 25, and I had a show. I wasn't in the TV, but I used to get angry when they call up and run some left-handed stuff. But now I realize that conversation that he ran woke up probably 50% of our listeners. That he was on the highway with a pistol.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. Think about his knowledge and what he was running. You dig? He was on there for a minute. For a minute. He was on the highway with a pistol and had the rights, that goes back to the 14th Amendment, to shoot you. Now, he's going to try and say that the 14th Amendment only deals with civil cases, and I don't know where he got that from. I never said that you can write a document and become a diplomat. If I said that was not my intent. I was saying once you get all of your paperwork in order, you have a right to do an affidavit, get it notarized, and send those copies to people of concern. And be sure and send Sarge a copy. Now, they're not going to answer. They're not going to answer because they know that they don't have a right to answer because they don't own nothing. So you will write 3 letters to them, and all you're doing is putting them on notice that you have your paperwork. That has nothing to do with the diplomatic immunity. Has nothing to do with that. Your papers have to do with your diplomatic immunity, and your injunction will tell Sarge that if he arrests you, there will be penalties put on him, financial penalties put on him. Now, I know he ain't going to tolerate that, so he'll probably be the first one to get fined for 10, 20. You can make the fine anything you want, but if you ever read an injunction, you'll see that the persons that fool with you have to be fined because they keep fooling with you. And a guy like Sarge, he'll get enough of those penalties. He'll stop that madness and go back and read what he's supposed to read rather than calling up the show, trying to act like he knows something and shut me down. He ain't going to shut me down. I know what I know, and I do what I do. So, bottom line is... Yep.
Okay, Ron. So we're going to take our 10-minute break.
And Google their state constitution. Now, they're going to find that each state has at least 3 different constitutions. So try and get the oldest constitution you can find and try to make it as close to 1865 as you can. Why? Because the American government, El Maroc, was ran by the natives of America prior to the Civil War. or prior to 1861 when they had Sinai. And these constitutions give you rights that you don't know that you really have. For example, I'm looking at the state of Michigan, 1835, the Constitution of Michigan of 1835. It starts out with, in the convention. There's a lot of. Do you hear that? Do you hear that feedback, Bev?
I don't hear it.
You don't hear it? Wow, I hear a lot of crackling. I don't hear it.
You coming in clear on this end.
All right, I'll stay with it then. Okay, it stopped. Whatever it was, I don't hear it now. All right, it says that this convention began in Chicago, city of Detroit, on the second Monday of May in the year 1835, and it starts out with "We the people of the territory of Michigan." So as established by the Act of Congress of the 11th day of January of the same year. Now, when you go down, you'll find that every article deals with your rights in the state. For example, Article 1, it starts out with political power. All political power is inherited in the people, not in the corporations. In the people. Now we know that's a no-no, because when they have elections, corporations fund money. We should look into that and file charges against the corporations, because the political power is inherited in the people. That's number one. Then they talk about rights of the people. Government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit of the people, and they have a right at all times to alter or reform the same, and to abolish one form of government and establish another whenever the public good requires it. So you definitely have a right to change the government if it's not in your best interest. Why we have Detroit and is controlled by the suburbs. You see, all of it was set up through a period of time when we went to sleep and let them come in and put all them bombs into the city council or common council, city council, and then they turned around and gave all the power back to the governor. You see what I'm saying? That never should have happened. The decree, the consent decree that they signed was illegal. They can't take our vote and turn around and give it to the governor. Somebody should look into that type of thing. You dig? Okay? Now, it says no exclusive privileges. No man or set of men are entitled to exclusive or separate privileges. There's another violation. Certain people get certain privileges because racism is caused by privileges and benefits. Example, when they have a African Day down at the Hart Plaza, I don't know the names of them, police cars, squad cars, buses, tanks, everything's down there to write up everything that goes on. Okay, which is okay. But you turn around the next week or next month and have a hillbilly showdown, whatever they call it. You got Europeans urinating on the sidewalks and no shirts on, no shoes on, drinking beer in the middle of the street. Police officers standing there talking to them. That's a privilege and a benefit. That's against the Constitution of Michigan. We don't say nothing. You got to get what I'm going to. Then they have a religious worship, support of religious society, rights of consciousness, the civil and religious rights, privileges, and capacities of no individual shall be diminished or enlarged on account of his opinion or belief concerning matters of religion. You have to look into that. Freedom of speech and press. Go ahead.
Now, what about, you say that we have different constitutions, and I'm looking, you reading the one from 1863, right?
35. I got 35.
And I'm reading the one, the Michigan from 1963.
Yes. And then I have
it's different than what you. It's different than what you're reading.
Okay, but it does not have a right to be different. It may be in another area where these things are. Okay, they cannot change the original Constitution is still in effect today. They use legalese. I know you heard that word before. They use legalese and color of law to make it work for them. And when I say them, I'm talking about them damn corporations again. So now, I don't know if we sit down with both constitutions, I don't know how we could do it other than dissect each constitution. But the law says that they cannot change it or take anything out of the original Constitution. They can amend it.
Now, you're reading number 4, right?
Yeah, but number 4 is still in Article 1. And it's not,
political
called
power.
Article, political power. I just saw that. Hold on.
This one is number.
Yes, political power.
Section.
All right, let's do it this way. Article 1, Bill of Rights. The first order of business is political power. It says, first, all political power is inherited in the people. Do you see that?
Yes, they got that.
Okay. Number 2, it says, not number 2, but the second one says, right of the people. Do you see that? Oh, I see, yeah. It would be number 2, right of the people. Government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit of the people. And they have a right at all times to alter or refrain or reform the same, and to abolish one form of government and establish another whenever the public good requires it. Do you see that?
Now, and Section 2 is equal protection discrimination.
Okay. Now, equal protection and discrimination. I don't know. That's not here. What's number 3?
Number 3 is assembly, consultation, instruction, petition.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and all of this is under the bill, Article 1, everything you're reading?
Article 1, Declaration of Rights.
Yes. All right. Let me downsize mine, and I'm going to let me see if I got it. I'm going to 850. 1850, meaning I'm going to change it, and I'm going to 1850 and see what it says, because I know it starts out a little bit different. Not a little bit, real different.
There's a lot, because I'm looking at the 1835, and I'm looking at the 63, and it's definitely different.
Yep. Okay. Now, I'm telling you, now 1850 starts out with a preamble. The people of the state of Michigan do ordain this Constitution. Article 1 deals with boundaries. Now, you have to go into it in order to find those particular rights. But I'm going to guarantee you that those rights that you just talked about or we're discussing is in your Constitution. It has to be. There's no doubt it has to be. Because Article 1 deals with the boundaries in 1850. Article 2 deals with seat of government. Article 3, I just passed it, deals with going down instead of up. Article 3 deals with, where you at, baby? There we go. Article 4 is Article 3 is division. Yeah. Article 2 is seat of government. Article 3 is division of the powers of government. And then Article 4 deals with, I just saw it, Article 4, legislative departments. Now, we don't have to waste any more time because you got to know how to study these constitutions. And I've been told that they can never change, but they put them in different orders and arrangements. And I don't really know how they do it and what gives them the right to do it. But I would tell you that you need to read it if you don't do anything but read the titles. Because in this one, I'm looking at the quorum, which is in Section 8, that talks about the majority of each house shall constitute a quorum, majority. Now, that's important because when you challenge a statute, they have to vote on that statute in order to make it a law, and they must use the majority of the house, of each house, and they must read it 3 times. So now I'm wondering if Sarge knows that. I'm in the state of Michigan. Every state has a constitutional right of how to make a statute a real law. Just because they wake up on Friday and say that we're going to raise the speed limit to 80 instead of 70, and then on Monday the signs are up, that doesn't make it a law that you can do 80. Or if they lower it down, that would be better. If it's 90 and they're going to lower it to 80 on Friday and change it on Monday, you need to challenge that statute that gave them the right to change it, and you're going to find that it must be read in each house 3 times, and it can only go into effect 90 days at the close of the session.
Now, Now, in Michigan, we got 3 constitutions. It's been revised. Which one you know to look at? Which one do you? Because I'm looking at the 1863, and I'm looking at, the 1835 and the 1963. The 1835 might have 2 lines, but in the 1963, it's a whole paragraph.
Well, here's what I would do. If I found something in either one of those constitutions that I needed to benefit me, I would use it. But I would have to quote that constitution at the top of my declaration. You follow me?
So if the 63 word, use the 63. If the 35 word, use the 35. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And let them tell you can't use it. Now you want to know, and then they'll probably say to you that that's been revised.
Right.
Okay. Who revised it? You see what I'm saying? Because normally, and I'm going to say this in all sincerity, at least 75% of any law other than murder and destruction of property, any law that you bring up, you should challenge that law to make sure it's a real law. 75% of all laws are not real. They are statutes, especially in the area of traffic. Almost 100% of all laws in traffic, I hope Sarge is listening, is bogus. 100% of them are bogus. Why are they bogus, Ron? Because they were written for commercial affairs. Yeah, Sarge, I would love to have Sarge listen to that. All the laws in traffic were written for commercial affairs. That's why they start putting on your driving license on the back that you are or are not a commercial driver. Because there's no law for traveling. So it would be wonderful to ask Sarge, why don't he give a farmer on a tractor on a state highway a ticket for driving on the highway when he don't have license, he don't have plates, he don't have insurance, he don't have registration. How does he get it? And most of the time, the son's children are driving them because they know how to drive a tractor, and they don't get a ticket. Why is that? And I know if you drive, Bev, if you travel, I know you've seen on the 2-lane highways sometimes them old farmers out there with them tractors. And I know you ain't never seen a license plate nowhere. Now, they're going to try and, yes, right. Now, he'll probably say they set up a section for agriculture or farmers. Okay, that's good. So now you have a right to do certain things, or better yet, they have a right not to do certain things. So now you want to ask him, where's the section for traveling? He's going to say there is no section for traveling. Then I'll say to him, how can you give me a ticket? If you don't have any rules and laws for traveling, because I am not driving, there's a reason for you to label truck driver, cab driver, jitney driver, bus driver, semi-driver. They're labeled because they are commercial. I would love to hear him run his madness on that one. But he will come out of, well, I ain't going to say where he's coming from because I don't know. But I'd love to hear his answer on that. But I'm saying to you, and we're going back to this 14th Amendment, the 14th Amendment has no rights. No, N-O. They have no rights. And you are labeled a 14th Amendment citizen until you declare yourself not a 14th Amendment citizen. And that argument will never... Go ahead.
And you explained that to us last week or so, how we became one when we were abandoned at birth.
Yes. I didn't want to go there with him because I don't have all that data in front of me, but I could give him the laws. He didn't say what state. Yeah, he did. He said he was out of Illinois. So they have a law in Illinois that covers the same thing. I was given Michigan and Ohio, and Illinois has the same laws, but you got to look it up. It's called Foundling Child. I think that's what they call it. Foundling. I ain't never heard that word before. F-O-U-N-D.
I looked it up.
Yes. So see, you do research and study. Some people don't. And then those that don't have, they're taught not to look it up, so now they got a pistol and a gun, and they send them out there to do certain works. So they run up on a person that has knowledge and education. Now you got a conflict. So you know the sergeants, a whole lot of sergeants out there, and if you're going to stand out on the street and argue with Sarge about your rights, you got a problem. I would be just as quiet as a church mouse when I run into Sarge. I'm going to tell him one time that I am a private citizen, and he going to look at me and tell me he don't care because you on Michigan highways, and I ain't going to say another word. He going to get some paper on him. When I hang that lien on his ass, at the end, he's going to get some paper hung on him.
And you know, you're right about Sarge, because Sarge wrote in the chat room, I had a shotgun and occasionally an assault rifle, too. Are you scared yet?
Good God. Why would he do that? Whoa.
Oh, my.
My goodness.
So this now, what you're dealing with.
Yeah, baby. Well, Sarge ain't got to worry about me. He heard my conversation today. If he ever run into me, I'm not saying a word. I have had experience with that before. Now, he had the nerve, you tell me, to write in the chat room that he has a gun and assault weapon. And are you scared yet?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Whoa. Yeah, we got to. Yeah, all right. Well, listen. I'm back at square one with you, Bev, and that is
okay.
We are. It's our own fault that we are getting murdered and mistreated because we don't know who we are. And you don't have any rights. I'll say it again. If you are a 14th Amendment citizen, you must be given your rights from the government. Now, Sarge wanted to jump to the original Constitution, and he mentioned common law, and that says your rights come from God, your Creator. So why would I want to give up my rights from the Creator to join his 14th Amendment citizenship bullcrap when they're going to dictate to me what I can and cannot have? And in common law, you can only commit 2 crimes: murder and destruction of property. That's it. It has nothing to do with driving vehicles, traveling in vehicles, none of that. They made that up. Now, they went to a certain article, and I can't quote it, but it went to a certain article that gave, in the original Constitution, that gave them a right to produce commerce. And commerce comes under a different form of government than traveling. Because commerce, you have to drive, and you have to make money. So if you're driving any type of vehicle or automobile, truck, or whatever, and you are creating money, you are driving. And they have a right to stop you, check your paperwork. All of that goes to them. All of it. But none of it pertains to me driving my wife to Kmart's. You follow me?
Yeah.
I'm going to spend money. I ain't making money when I take her to Kmart or wherever she want to go. But here comes Sarge going to give me a ticket for speeding. What the hell is wrong with you? How can I speed? Well, you was going fast. Did I kill anybody? No. Did I cause anybody to run off the road? No. Well, how can I be speeding? What is the rule for speeding? 1 mile an hour? 100 miles an hour? Where you coming from? And you know he going to go off on the deep end. You know
well, you're going to say that sign say 55, a speed limit 55.
And I'm going to say that pertains to driving. That's what I'm going to say. Now, I don't want to go that far with Sarge, because Sarge might take an assault rifle and start shooting. Or get on the microphone and scream, we have a terrorist out here.
Yeah.
Okay? And now here they come from everywhere, and I know I'm in trouble now. So he ain't fooling me. They should took his badge from him a long time ago. All right.
Why? It's a whole bunch of sergeants. That's why so many people, these young guys, is getting killed. A lot of them have that mentality. They trained that way.
Wow. And then he has nerve to brag that he has a gun and assault rifle. You know, they should come and get him. Somebody should come right now and take all that stuff away from him. He is not a competent person. He's dangerous. Help me, somebody.
Look at the officers that's shooting the people in the back and think. I mean, that's the same mentality.
Yes, it is. I'm not disputing you. I'm just thinking about Sarge, and I'm scared to drive home tonight. Sarge might fly out here to get me. God almighty, no. And yeah, he said, are you scared? Yeah, I'm scared. But that ain't going to stop me. All right, we got a caller, 7994. Do you have a question? Area code 763. Do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, my comment is, all you got to do is look at that incident where the guy hit the guy with the gun, with the car. Now, if that brick had came through the windshield and killed him, they'd have charged that man with murder.
Okay, let the people know, what are you relating that to? What happened?
That incident that happened yesterday with the individual where he was walking down the street with the rifle, and the policeman came out of nowhere and ran him over with the car, hit him with the car, and they said there was good police work.
They said he was going to commit suicide or something.
Right. They call themselves protecting him. Now, if when he hit that wall, he hit a retaining wall. And when he hit that wall, a brick hit the windshield. Now, if that brick had came through the windshield and killed that policeman, that gentleman with the gun would have been charged with murder.
Yes, he would. Yes.
And they would be telling us how bad he was and all those things that happened. But everything you just what you ran it. I thought for a minute I was listening to the wrong show. I kept listening then before the break, and then I thought I thought I was listening to the wrong show. I kept listening, and then I was almost I was like, wait a minute, and then it dawned on me. But you got to remember that Sarge only knows what he knows, and he's only going to talk about what he knows. And so you know until he broadens his perspective, he's going to have issues. But I enjoyed the brother's comment, when the spirit is moving, when the Creator is working it, it's too powerful. It's a powerful thing. So I really appreciate tonight's show. It was. I want him to stay in the chat room. He's going to keep listening.
He in there.
I want him to stay in there. Stay in there. Yes. Because he's already been pricked. You know, you can put a Band-Aid over a gunshot all you want. It's still gonna bleed. It don't matter how sweet you dress it up, and because you just touch it and the blood comes right through, and that's his issue. So you know, he maybe he'll know that you got to go deeper. Maybe. Well, but if he don't, it's all good because he sure woke me up tonight.
Yes. And there's a whole lot of sergeants out there, and they want to know why we having trouble with police officers when they got an idiot like that carrying a gun. And he gonna brag on a radio talk show that he got an automatic weapon too. And are you scared? I wonder how scared he'd be if we take both of them away from him and just cold cock the hell out of him. Where would that put him? See what I'm saying? Yeah, he's tough. He got a gun, a hanging aid, and he got a radio to call his reinforcements. Riot.
And as soon as if I get too close, he say I'm grabbing his taser and take me on out.
and he gonna say, I'm sorry. I thought I had my taser, but I pulled out my pistol. Some old crazy.
There you go.
And he had the nerve to come in and run that madness. The more I think about it, I ain't angry, but the scarier I get because people like out there got guns.
Yes.
All right, brother.
Yes. All right, y'all have a good night. Thanks for listening. I'm still listening.
Thanks for listening.
Woo. I got another call, Bill.
Okay.
I thought I did. Where's it at? Yeah, I got it. All right, here we go. All right. Yes, caller, area code 205, last 42007. Hello?
Hello? Greetings.
Yes, hello? Yes, greetings.
Yes. Brother Ron and Sister Beverly, how y'all doing?
Great.
Great. I'm doing great. Okay.
I listened to the brother earlier that talked about how they have, their people come out of the woodwork and try to set you up. He is so true and right about that because everybody, it's going to be a small number of us that's awakened, and they want to try to put a stop to that. But it only takes a few to wake up a whole lot of folks. And so, that was his, he's one of them, I feel like he's one of those boule people, one of those boule that's a Phi Kappa Alpha and some old crap that they, get them in there to distract, the people because they know that they're about to fall from power and they have fallen from grace. And you all know them folks overseas do not want none of those Europeans going over there because that's what they are over here. They stuck. They're not American, and they're European and they don't even want them back in their country. So that is, you're so right about that. Even they're waking up, but they don't know what to do. They can't look and see what their ancestors have done, but yet and still they call this is their country when it's not their country. And you got this, I'm gonna say it, you got this ignorant nigger that they have brainwashed. There's a whole lot of them out there. Those are the ones that you got to be, you got to be careful of them because, like you said, all black folks ain't black folks. So you have to be real careful. And I just want to say that, but you keep on teaching because I drove and got my birth certificate, so I'm ready to do the damage.
All right. Where are you calling from, sister?
Peace out. I am the sister from Alabama that listened to the other show that you had a conversation with them ignorant niggas.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another ignorant nigga. That's another ignorant nigga. There's a whole lot of them out there. So you have to be real careful. And I just want to put that in there. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank you, sister. Right. Thank you. Man, oh, man, oh, man. All right. Mercy. Mercy, mercy. Well, anyway, I was saying that when they created the new government of 1871, they had to have a structure that will protect them before they do their damage to America. You get it, Bev?
Mm-hmm.
So they created what we know today as the Liber Code. And that Liber Code is so powerful that they are still using it not only today. They set up the Guantanamo by using the Liber Code. Because remember, you probably heard the word for the first time from them damn one of them bushes. Combatant. Remember that word kept coming out?
Yeah.
Combatant.
Yeah.
Well, that coincides with the Liber Code. Belligerent coincides with Liber Code. If you have a belligerent combatant, you have a right to do anything. You don't have any rights. See, those young men that was put down there in Guantanamo, they didn't even have a lawyer. And all the things that was done to them, we don't know half of what was done to them. I saw a general on the show, on our show, and they were putting something in their rectum, and they were, whatever it was making them dehydrated or something. I didn't want to listen, but I had to listen. And what they were doing, the first things that they do, the prisoners do, is go on hunger strike. They try to kill themselves. Now, I bet you don't know, Bev, and I got to say this because I was told this 100 years ago. Why do you think when people go on hunger strike, every official of corporations or whatever come out of the woodwork to try and make them eat? If you got a guy in prison for life, and he done so you say has murdered babies and children and mamas, who gives a damn if he don't eat? That would take pressure off you and finances, so let the son of a gun die. But you have never heard of a prisoner dying in custody from starvation. Why is that? Do you think? Why do you think that? Or do you agree?
Because I agree. I haven't heard it.
Okay. Why do you think they don't want them to die or don't want them to go on the starvation?
Is it because they're making money off of them?
No. It's worse. Now, this is kind of... Put your feet on the floor, because my feet are on the floor. I'm going to run this on you.
All
right. When you fail to eat, your mind becomes so crisp and so sharp that if you are aware, you can create, I hate to use the word, let's just say you can create images.
Yeah.
And you can tell that image to go home with the chief of police of the warden and beat up his wife or go in there spooking. And that cat will go home and he'll see stuff in his house. It'll scare him half to death. They say if you start right before you die of starvation, you can, this is really funny, you can hear a flea on a water buffalo's ass in India. You can hear that them wings fluttering right before you die. That's how keen your senses become before you die.
I believe that. Yeah.
And if you are aware of your powers, you can make that spirit Get out of that cell.
Yeah.
And that's why they do all kinds of, they had to come up with something down in Guantanamo because all of them guys said, well, we ain't going to eat. The same thing happened. We didn't even know that boy was in jail, that Puerto Rican, that took the pictures of them bum-ass cops. That was Assange and his buddies that were strangling that cat for selling cigarettes. I can't breathe. You know the guy that took the pictures, they went and found him, beat him up, put him in jail, checked his records, found out he was on probation 20 years ago, and he had violated something, and they put him in Rikers, the worst prison in the state of New York, Rikers. He immediately went on a hunger strike. And when he went on a hunger strike, they tried to make him eat, so they put rat poison. Now, this ain't no lie. It's all on the news. They put rat poison in the food, blue pellets. I don't know if you read it. They put blue pellets because they was trying to kill him for turning in them crooked cops, turning in Sarge for strangling and killing that one guy. So now he was on starvation, and they said, "Oh no, you ain't gonna know." They wouldn't let him starve. So now they're going to get him out, but the prosecutor said they want to raise the bail, and they want to do, listen to this word they use, they want to do a bail observant act. First thing you say, what the hell is that?
Right.
People raised $40,000. He only needed $8,000 to get out, or $5,000 to get out. They raised $40,000. The prosecutor said, we want to find out if that's legitimate money or was it drug money. Think about that. So now they want to check each bill. Where did it come from? Who put the money in? And if they got any drug record, they're going to screen all the people that donated. And, so, you know, I'm thinking back on Sarge again. What kind of man could that be to come up and run some crap with all this criminal activity coming from his brethren, his blue line police officers coming from them? And now the prosecutor said, we're going to check every dollar bill that come in here. We want to know where it comes from. So that's madness. That's all I can say. It's just downright madness.
And someone in the chat room, when you were talking about when they do the starvation, they was like, is there any scientific evidence behind what you are saying?
I know of none.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I know of none, but some of the elder brothers ran that on me 45 years ago. I didn't believe it, but then as I look at what's happening, see, I don't need to read a book or find it from authority when I can see it. So I'll ask that person the same way I asked you, Beth, why don't they let them starve? Why would they be concerned about you going on a diet, going on a starvation? Why would they be concerned? Something must be to it. Now, it may not be what I said, but they will go out of their way to make you eat, that you will never die in custody from these corporations from hunger. Now, they brought that up. Go ahead.
And I can say from the little fasting, when I go into a spiritual fast, what you say, it definitely happens because I get really in tune to my spiritual side and things really start to happen. But I just go into maybe a 3-4 day fast. So I can imagine what happened if somebody goes into a 30-day fast. Oh my God.
Woo-wee. And now you mentioned spirits, which I did also.
Yes.
But you get closer to your spirits, and you were fasting so you could be more spiritual and more in tune with your spirits. Yes. So if something's bothering you, you can talk to the spirits and ask them to solve that problem for you.
Yes, yes.
That's what it's about.
I mean, when you don't put that food in you, you make that connection.
Unbelievable. And that's why when they put people on welfare, they're always going to feed them. You'll never see anybody on welfare die of starvation. I guarantee you that. They may get some food they don't want to eat, but they ain't going to die of starvation because they know who the enemy is, and that's them damn corporations and Sarge who protects them, so they're going to put their spirit out to go get them.
Yeah.
And they got a problem. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Whoa, unbelievable. Help me, somebody. Yeah. This has been a good show.
Yeah.
I love Sarge. I swear I love him. Because all the people that I couldn't catch, he woke up more people in his presentation than he can ever realize. He should be on, have him call every week with that madness. Because I ain't going to get angry because I know how to answer him. And I can only answer him by truth. Because you know what I say. Don't believe me, Sarge. Look it up for yourself. And I wanted to tell him he can email me and I'll send it to him since he don't know where to go. But let him do what he wants to do. Unbelievable. I don't want him to email me now that he's bragging with his pistol and his hanger nade or whatever he got.
Well, he also wrote that he gave it back to the state of Illinois when he retired.
I bet you he's got a house full of guns right now, and I bet you he's a hunter. See, I don't know how to say it, but go out and hunt and kill a deer or kill a bear. I can't do that. My spirit won't let me go out and do that. Kill something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I bet you Sarge has been hunting all over the place, killing all that mess out there, pop-up targets. Woo! And I hope he's not a boule, because he's a mulatto, because we really got, help me somebody. Sarge, I'm going to pray for you. No, I ain't. Later for him.
That's not going to do no good. He has his frame of thought, so.
Yep, let's leave it alone. So now we'll go back to the beginning, and I'll say to you, we got three minutes left on the air.
Okay.
And I'll go back and say that I've always taught. I'm where I am today because my goal has always been in my 25 years of running, well, it's been 100 years, but since I have an electronic audience, I've always tried to raise the consciousness of my viewers and listeners. That's all I try to do. And I always have the slogan, do not believe me. Look it up for yourself. Don't listen to what I say that it's all a truth and nothing but the truth. That you found the truth in Ron Marsh. No, you haven't. Because I'm a mortal man like everybody else. I may slip up or do something like that. I want you to read. I want you to look at what's going on and why things are like they are. Now, when I told Sarge, for example, I just gave him one little test that he could have solved everything if he would have did it, but he talked over me and didn't want to do it. There's got to be a reason. He did not dispute me when I told him that teacher beat his knuckles with that ruler. And I know a lot of the listeners out there have went through the same experience. If they didn't do it to you, you saw them do it to other little kids when you was, so what is it, 5, 6 years old, 4 and 5 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And you learn how to write your name. Now, why would they do that if they wasn't setting you up for something? And they told you, in order to be a person, your name is a personal noun. It has to be in upper and lower caps. Now, if he can agree with that, then he has to explain to me why all of the paperwork he gets from any corporation is in all capital letters. If he would have went into that, we could have solved that problem right away. He would have threw all them books away he talking about he done read and looked at and all that crap he think he know. He'd have forgot all that. All he got to do is answer that one question. I heard him say something like, well, we ain't going to worry about upper and lower caps. That's the crux of everything, upper and lower caps. That's why we getting our birth certificate squared away, because we're tired of being used as all caps slaves in this system. So, I'll end up in saying that I appreciate you, Bev, and I love your audience, and you know I love my audience. And we're going to get to the bottom of this thing. I swear, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah,
so
and we appreciate you giving us the information.
Okay, I accept it, and I'm going to do better. I'm going to look it up, because it's time now to get that second document together. I got my first document together, which was my affidavit. I got to get that injunction together, and we are working on it right now. You know who the we are. We're working on that injunction right now.
And you also have tapes that you're selling too with the information, right?
Well, kind of yes and kind of no.
Oh no, okay, that's something else. That's something else.
That's something else. Yeah, we don't want to get into that right now.
All right,
but I still have my book. That would be good for Sarge to get. Go on my storeroom and look at they were white and they were slaves. That we were not the only slaves on the market. They were slaves first, and then they put us in slavery, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But I got a book that's online that's got documentation to back up what I'm saying. So until next week, if I love you, I enjoy you, and we're gonna get to the bottom. We're gonna get to the root. We're gonna get to the root of this matter and solve this problem all the way out. All right?
Yes, we will. Well, thank you, Ron, and we appreciate you. Until next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.